Good afternoon. It's Monday, March 30th. My message today is about humility and responsibility. Um our spiritual responsibility as leaders to the people, those who were chosen to carry a sacred chanupa, those who were chosen to whom Blecha or Sundance, who are running ceremonies. I went 5.5 hours yesterday to a ceremony where I was turned away out of fear of this, that I could be contaminated. And my message isn't to judge, it isn't to criticize, but it's to bring understanding, to educate. Um, I got an opportunity to still go there and load the sacred pipe and meet with the people, meet with some people there, to pray with them, to listen to their concerns and what's going on with their ceremonies there. The ego and the arrogance, well, those destroy. And I'm not anybody to judge or criticize, but we know what those can do, and I know from having been an egotistical maniac myself. So what I want to say is that the ways that I followed were taught to me, and they can be traced back to Wallace Black Elk, who was a Lakota medicine man out of South Dakota. My first Inipi ceremony was 30 years ago, and since then until now I've only been turned away from 2 ceremonies in my life. And in itself there was something to be learned from that. It wasn't a negative, it was a positive. Whether you realize that or not, it was a positive experience. I learned something valuable. I learned about who I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to be if I'm going to help people. If that's what that's what I've been called to do, and I have been called to do that. But if you're afraid to help the people, you probably shouldn't be sitting at the head of a ceremony and running a ceremony. Step aside. Let somebody who has more understanding about the medicines that we were chosen to carry and about the way we follow, and allow them to do that. In this particular case, you have somebody that traveled 5.5 hours to pray for your people, to pray with your relatives, to pray with our relatives, to sit down and pray for the drugs and alcohol addiction, for the health. And I had a lot of people ask, a lot of people I said I would bring their prayers with me to that ceremony. Well, for those people, I want you to know that those prayers were still sent. They weren't sent in that ceremony, but they were sent up with the sacred chanupa, and they were sent up with the people there, our relatives, our Ojibwe relatives. And beautiful people, man. I met some amazing, amazing people. They had some legitimate concerns with what's going on out there, maybe spiritually. It's not for me. It's for their elders. It's for their spiritual leaders of a higher understanding, I guess, that should probably be addressing what's going on. I just pray. I encourage them not to be bitter, not to be angry, but to continue praying also. Pray that that they receive the knowledge and the help that they need to continue moving forward in the path that they're on. So my message, and I hope my message didn't come across egotistical or arrogant, because that's not, and it's definitely not meant to shame or bash anybody, or for anybody else to judge or criticize about what had happened. Don't do that. I'm nobody to judge this man, and neither is anybody else. They're on a path, and we all have a responsibility to assist each other and to educate each other. Not to judge, but to work together, for the same thing, for the same purpose and the same reason, to help people. And when the people don't want to use modern medicines, this is what they come to. This is where they go. They go to all natural. They go to these powerful and sacred ceremonies for that help. We don't turn people away when they do that. I won't do that, even if it means that I could be compromising my well-being or my life. I'll do what I have to help whoever comes to me. I don't pick or choose. The Creator does all of this. He puts the people in our path, and we sit. When we go in there, we sit like this because there's not one person more important than the next. You know, it doesn't matter if you've been following this way for 30 years. It doesn't matter if you've been a pipe carrier for 15 and a half. It doesn't matter if you Sundance for 5.5 years. That's irrelevant. I'm no more important than the person who's coming in for the very first ceremony. We're relatives. We love each other, we care about each other, and we support each other, and we help each other. And that's what it's all about. Believe in the medicine you carry, and believe in those prayers. I say, Wopala for what I learned. Wopala to the young lady who opened her house to us and allowed us to come in and load that sacred chanupa and pray with them, and pray for their elders, their children, their grandchildren, and their men and women in the community, and everybody in all tribal communities. You know, there were prayers put out for all of our tribal people and all nations, not just native nations, but all nations, for healing. And I just want to say that I love you all. Don't judge or criticize each other. Support each other and help each other. Help educate each other, and that's our responsibility to one another. So I thank everybody that was a part of my yesterday, that helped bring understanding and knowledge in my path and my journey, and how I'm supposed to be, and what it is the people need. I say, Wopala, Padamye.